Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here, back with another video. Sorry, I've made two videos in quite quick succession, so please forgive me if you get a few notifications. I often worry about that, but I hope people out there enjoy it. I know I wasn't planning on making the one that I just made about 5 minutes ago or so about Benjamin's F&I, because I didn't find out he passed away till recently, so I thought I'd make a video on that and about his legacy and stuff like that. But anyway, sticking to the theme, as it's December and it's the month of Christmas, and I do often mention that. Sorry for those who don't like Christmas, because I keep mentioning it, but please forgive me for that as well. But as I say, as it's the month of Christmas, the season of goodwill and that kind of thing, I suppose one thing would be great if there was a Christmas truce in all the wars that are going on, especially in Israel and Palestine. But or even just generally, all these wars. It would be good if, like, at least for a certain amount of time, people called a truce for the rest of till the end of the year. It's not that far away anyway, till the end of the year, I suppose. But anyway, sorry, I'll try not to waffle. But anyway, on the what am I trying to say? On that note, I was hoping to talk about different Italian football teams and Celtic, and how I dream for. I was wondering whether to include Torino as I originally planned, or include Celtic, as for some reason Celtic reminds me of the number 7. I don't know why. I suppose it's the beginning of it sounds like 7, but so I think of like Celtic having 7-a-side pitches and things like that. But anyway, here are my dreams, my Christmas dreams, my Christmas shopping list for Torino. And as ever, apologies if I've repeated these ideas before in the past, but I hope people out there enjoy them. I do have a little fear that, like, thinking, how am I going to get the potential investors and sponsors to see these videos? But I hope somehow they'll stumble across these videos if I'm really dreaming. I suppose I'm talking in a dream sort of way, as I often do. I'm a bit of a dreamer, as you can probably tell. But on that note, here are my dreams, my Christmas dream, my Christmas shopping list, or whatever you want to call it, for Torino in this case. So here goes. So number 1, I dream that Tata. I'm pretty sure, if as far as I'm aware, as I check my mobile, the 25th, which is obviously Christmas Day, is on a Monday, and so I was thinking, yeah, it's on a Monday. So the 26th, as I go on alliterations, it'd be pretty cool. And it's also Boxing Day, obviously, on the 26th. So it'd be pretty cool if these companies, such as Tata, invested in Torino. And I've talked about before about how I'd love for Tata to, the Indian company, Tata to help Torino to benefit, but also benefit themselves and help to grow football in Italy and in India as well. So and maybe even across Asia, or wherever Tata is based, but especially in India itself. Wherever Tata does business, but especially in India itself, so and in Italy. So if they helped Torino to build many academies and buy the best possible players and that kind of thing, that'd be cool. But also if they helped to have academies and sports clubs of Torino in India, especially where they do a lot of business in their main cities, or whichever cities that Torino operate in India, especially, and possibly across Asia and around the world. But again, especially in 2 countries, Italy and India, which I hope will benefit Torino, and again possibly help India to grow its football teams and build a stronger partnership between Italy and India through football. Number 2, again, all these companies and potential investors, co-owners, equity holders, shareholders, and whatnot, to invest in Torino on Boxing Day, I think, or from Boxing Day. I think that'd be pretty cool. And if they could buy best possible players in the January transfer window, or even windows in the future as well, actually, to be fair. So I'd love for Toyota to do the same. So Toyota to invest in Torino as well, and again do something similar with what Tata does for India, they could do for Japan as well. So as I'm a bit biased, I would love for them to have football academies across Turin and all over Italy, which would benefit Italian football, but they could also help to grow the game further in Japan, because a lot of Asian nations are trying to get into football as well, and Japan does have a passionate following for football, and I'm sure even India does. So yeah, doing similar again from Boxing Day, that would be pretty cool. And again, in the January transfer, I was going to say January sales, and the January transfer window, hopefully Torino would have the money to buy some great players and to develop the team as much as possible from, well, maybe even from December onwards, but especially in the January transfer window. Point number 3, similar with Tesla, again, same sort of thing, and they could do that in America, obviously, where Tesla is from. Number 4, all possible companies that begin with T, and sticking on to alliterations. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I would love to focus on my ideas and dreams for Torino. I often think of like Torino, Calcio Torino, Tuesdays and Thursdays and things like that. What do I call it in my strange patterns? Torino Tuesdays, the very Torino Thursdays, the very and stuff like that. When I write it, when I type it up. But yeah, as many companies as possible that begin with T, investing in and basically having shares and equity in the club and helping them to buy best possible players, develop their academies and things like that. Number 5, I would love to hear from Torino fans themselves, like what sort of dreams any Torino fans. I hope Torino fans watch these videos, and if I get to monetize them, I would donate as much of the money as possible, preferably all of it, to Torino if I'm in the position to do so. Obviously, if I have the shelter and enough to eat and enough to live on and stuff like that, then I could donate any video, ideally any video that has the word Torino in it. I would love to donate any of the profits if I can, or again, as much of it as possible, to put simply into the club. So that's a good incentive, hopefully, for fans to watch these videos with Torino in it, if not Italian football fans generally, or anyone who has a soft spot for Torino especially. Number 6, I hope this will help to benefit Italian football generally. As I often mentioned, like if they develop younger players, have good academy systems and things like that, especially in Italy itself, including in Turin, obviously, and across Italy. Hopefully this will benefit the national team, especially in the future, as soon as possible and as often as possible, would be ideal. Number 7, and again, sorry if I repeat a lot of these ideas, but I'd love for Torino to have partnerships with Celtic and see what they can learn from each other, especially at youth level, how they can practice together, what they could learn about marketing, branding, finances, and that kind of thing, basically generally, which is very important for a modern football club. And just generally what ideas they could learn from each other, how they could train together, especially at youth level, as I say, the academies practicing together, sometimes on 11-side pitches and sometimes on 7-side pitches and things like that. So yeah, doing different practices together and seeing what they can learn from each other, what they can do to help each other to develop, as I'd love for all Italian teams to do with Celtic as well, towards a mutual benefit, hopefully. Got my green top on, actually, funny enough, for Celtic. Although, as I say, it's not an actual Celtic top, but it is green, just like Celtic. We're playing green and white. Number 8, and maybe seeing what partnerships they could develop. Obviously, they don't have partnerships with rival clubs or whatever, but or with every club, even, but or even most clubs, but seeing what they could, which the clubs they could have partnerships with or whatever, including across Africa and Asia. And I gave 2 examples of Asian nations like India and Japan, but having those sorts of partnerships, especially to train at youth level, and hopefully that will help to boost the brand of Torino around the world. So they'll have lots of supporters clubs, academies and sports clubs. And I forgot to say also in the intro, I was going to say, I hope, as it's the season of goodwill and as it's the month of Christmas, basically, season of goodwill, I hope it will be. I hope people will support my content, as I say. Number 9, I'd love for Torino and all those involved to be. So if Tata, Toyota, Tesla, and others that begin with T or whatever, investors, sponsors, and whatnot, do invest in the club. And sponsor the club and whatnot. I'd love for them to connect with the fans. I think that's really important to listen to the fans and what they want. I know lots of clubs, probably most clubs, if not all clubs, have their own AGMs and things like that. But it'd be cool if they could connect as often as possible on social media, on things like Zoom or whatnot. I don't know if Zoom has to social media, but it would be cool if they could connect as much as possible. And so, yeah, all those involved in the club, the fans, possibly even the players, the coaches, certainly the managers, scouts, and those involved in like investing and sponsoring the team, could talk to the fans and reassure them about what their vision is for 5 or 10 years into the future, what sort of players they want to buy, what sort of things they want to achieve, and also listening to the fans about what dreams the fans have for the club and what the club means to them, like what priorities they have. So it'd be interesting to hear what Torino fans would love to see. So, for instance, Torino fans might feel that the Turin derby is the most important, whereas me, as a fan of Italian football generally, I'd love to see them Italian teams win trophies in Europe and internationally, possibly including Torino, if they can get that investment and that kind of thing. But as I say, I'd love to see Italian football just improve generally with the best possible players, coaches, managers, coaching staff, scouts, whatever's involved in making a great football team. But I was going to say as well, I'd love for people to find out facts about Torino and facts about Italian football. Like, I think the Turin derby between Juventus and Torino, I'd love for people to find out facts about that generally. But I believe it's the oldest derby in Italy. Genoa is the oldest football team, Genoa CFC. And the Turin derby is the oldest derby, if I'm not mistaken, in Italy. It'd be great if the Serie A channel on YouTube had many different videos about the stats on all sorts of different stats and things like that, and quizzes and things like that, to get people to learn more about Italian football, as a fan of Italian football myself. Number 10, and finally number 10, I would love for, as I say, as much youth development as possible, which I hope will benefit Torino itself in this case, an Italian team generally, and in this case specifically Torino, and also the national team. As I say, developing good young players. I think that's something I'm very passionate about. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I know I'm a bit of a dreamer, as I say, but I would love for just a bit of a dreamer. I say rather sarcastically, but or a lot of a dreamer, in other words. But I dream that these sorts of things will happen from Boxing Day, which is also on a Tuesday. So, right, Torino Tuesdays. Yeah, I know I'm mad, but anyway, I'm out. Peace and love.